Msaja genti sente cheko kufuna sente.
You see.
Ani ajayo sente zo.
Mbanga de miaka mingi. That's why I'm very worried. Omuntu wazaala abaana nga bafa beegaaya. Olulaba omwana wo nga yeegaaya. Oyinza n'obuta omutwala mu ddwaliro. When I look at history, Uganda has suffered. Why? Succession battles. And I've written much about succession. When one listens to this tape, recorded tape, he may think that I'm supporting the one who is speaking. But at the end, he castigates me. And the money we're talking about, I don't get it. What is my interest? I don't believe that in you, apart from Miso, that has this technology. Murundi umbaga nti tuwekwata feka. Nebabandika obupula nemba kwata. Nebagenda ku Zoom nemba kwata. Nebagenda kulandira ine nemba kwata.
Wano succession eriwa.
Anti kibalwanira. Omusajja akugambye. Kubanga the problem is njagala mbibaleetire. The fake tape reflects a person who is very bitter. That was almost arrested, but an equally powerful force went and instituted him. Where are we going? Are we going to an coordinated troop movement? Is a Muwanga Negundi? Is a Bacholi?
Mami Tamale, is the succession war real?
Yes. Nzeka nyini abasajja bwe babateza. Mbaweereza message. I participate with them. Kubamba laba kubiwa.
Otesa nabo?
On video. Nakati mbaweereza message. Mbamba laba. They meet every day. Do you people save us from chaos? Allow everybody who wants to be president to campaign freely. Don't think nti onomukodimu wa president ebyo baspini doctors. The moment you say ti buli muntu yenna mu ggwanga ayagala obwa president yajeyo empapula era atandike, because we are lucky. The president threw a corpse and the cannibals came out. Yatandika ale. Museveni provoked the opposition into another election as if we are going there tomorrow. Kubanga aina advantage. Ti Museveni yajawo 75 year cup. He is a coach player. Bwe batawana ikayingira. Yes.
Sawa chiyingira.
Ikisawa chiyingira, we are safe. If you fail, Kalasa Bwala, Yalimu.
Kalasa Bwalia.
Yes. We are safe. Kakati mbagamba. Gwalaba emikolo ya muhozi njigendako.
Anakulebe kuguno kuka.
First of all, I know I'm his supporter. He knows me. No question. He knows me. When a child resembles his father, cannot be taken to any. You cannot go to Museveni and tell him that Mirundi supports opposition. He has suffocated me for 9 years. Kuba mwena lemu. Kutwali munsi kubatu kama ngante. How do we test an enemy? Nabajasiba ulutwane babitegeera. Abajasiba obote. Bwe bakwatanga ne mundu nga bakajipange. Bakwatanga okutegeera omuyekera. Nga bagandi pange mundu. Kati omusiru nga ajipanga. Kabategeera. Nabagamba omusajja yefuula kasiru n'ayita kwasiba omusolo n'omugabo wamwega kasiru genda mwebale nnyo bassebo kubanga yali tamanyi ti must play that role of kasiru sirawutu tye omusajja omugamba nti batule yafa ate bw'aba n'osirikayo mukazi wakuule lwaki abamuyingiza logi n'olayo enduulu. If he is an impotent man, you should be satisfied that nothing is going to happen. Kakati tembabulira. Terry intelligence organization can have this information. Even if they have it, tebasobola jibulira president. The man is bitter. This is a fake tape. Very bitter. Nayo jamuchi. The gist of the discussion. somebody is discussing with him. And in these days, they praise me. Everybody in their meeting says, I'm a highly intelligent man. You hear him, that the president told him, don't antagonize. Toyine kyogenda mukola. Nze mumya nabala tibanjoze bansi ndikidoli. Bwe baba wali wayagala okuni. President's office bakikolayo.
Wagana.
I refuse to go there. Nababalira emyaka 10. Nentegeera nti in every 10 years the political dispensation changes. In every 50 years society changes. The Rwandese went back after 50 years. The people of Benghazi came to Tripoli after 42 years. Germany united after 50 years. The Soviet Union collapsed after 70 years. Then the Russian Federation is going to collapse.
Putin.
Yes. Kati nze politics mumanyi. Kati nkugamba. Bo mistake kyebunkoze. What these people abalwanira obusika mistake ze bakoze ziriezi. Next time ngenda kuleeta akatabo kange rules and principles of succession nakawandika mu 2011 rule nga mbategedde bambabazi baani bonna ninga kanyamba abantu bano nasoma political science. Rules katika nkubuulire bano ekibalimi kyonna kiri kimu. If you don't understand how things work, you make very big mistakes. One, if you want your daughter to become a Catholic nun, you cannot allow her to engage in sex. That is known. Omuwala amaze okuzaalako tasobola genda mu bunnaddiini.
Kikwatagana kitane ebiriwo.
Anti singa balanga kati twagala bank manager nga wa Bachelor of Commerce abasoma arts abaisole basaba. Yes, it is a failure to understand. To succeed the president, to be a successor, weetaaga ki? Kuba tulina amakubo mangi. Are you going to stage a coup? Are you going to stage a revolution? No, an orderly succession. And we have two scenarios where the incumbent is in charge, like Museveni. Museveni is in charge to choose a successor and influence a successor. Two, where the incumbent does not have a scenario where an incumbent cannot choose a successor. Ti abantu bayise mu luguudo gwe toyogerwako. Yes, katulina scenarios ibiri. Two, what are the catchment areas of a successor? One, the first family. Two, opposition. Three, unknown.
So look over anywhere.
Yes. Kakati gwogwawa.
Okay.
Yes. Nze waffe.
President ali mu position choosing his successor.
Museveni is in charge. Why I have told you that once the 75-year cap was removed, it gave Museveni a chance to become a coach player.
Akibalekera mukiyiwa nga ajja.
Tewaliwo term limits, tewaliwo age limit. And I can tell you, Kenyatta became the Prime Minister of Kenya at the advanced age of 75. Kibaki became the President of Kenya at the advanced age of 77. Ronald Reagan became President of America at the advanced age of 75. Babuza Clinton, nti, what are you commenting on the age difference between you and Senator McCain? Bill Clinton was 45, McCain 75. Nambuza ntichi. Yabaga nti no, the age difference does not matter. What matters is the ideas one has for America.
Oh.
Senator McCain was 78. The man during the crunch, the man who restored the Italian economy was Professor Napoleano, 95 years, Birmingham University. The man who made the foundation of China, apart from Mao, Deng, was 85.
So Mwami Museveni achayina opportunity. Okay,
ate ffe mu byobufuzi batugamba leaders become pragmatic in old age. Omusota omukadde ye Nalongo w'okuluzi wamma Nalongo dda ku nkomansi n'amazzi kuba tegukyabojja tegukyatya bantu. Do you believe eyanga Nyerere could have accepted to step down? Do you believe eyanga Kaunda Kenneth would have accepted a humiliating defeat on Chiruba? Yes. Do you believe eyanga Kamozi Banda in Mwanzi in Polokoma would have considered defeat? Leaders become pragmatic in old age. Museveni bwe yagamba lwaki abasibe bwe basalira ogw'okufa bali emmere yange akalabba kaali kaasirika dda omusajja atta abantu kalabba abajjinja ne bamuleeta nze nategeera nti agenda kuwanika. Museveni yawanika Kasimu Obula, yawanika Sebirumbi, yawanika nani omulala. Has he, at the age of 43, has Museveni ever done it?
No.
He plays around with the Nasulu. Amukona ku lubuto Nasulu. Olubuto lulimu ebiwuka. Bagundi bano muhikirwa atola abatadde. Gundi ani Lwakasisi is a senior advisor to Museveni on security.
Nesinga kyali mu biseera biri.
Abadduka Museveni bwe yafundiriza nga wa myaka 43 yabawanika kalabba bali batya emmere yange. I'm telling you, that's why the Kenyans are talking about Leero Timuto manya mukadde. But you see, what is important is not Timuto babukadde
ideas.
No, 3 issues. The constitution. I'm telling you, change the constitution to reinstate term limits so that we have a foundation. Because once the first president surrendered the power after defeat, Kibaki surrendered the power. Uhuru has not contemplated extending his term by 1 hour because the foundation was made.
Okay, well,
olunaku Nyerere lwe yavaako ne Hassan Mwinyi n'avaako ne gundi n'avaako Kikwete tewali agenda kulemerako.
balina okuvaako.
Kati ffe tetuzimbangako foundation yeeyo.
Okay, webale njaga tugende buterevu wali Mwami Tamale standby generator ogwo oyagala ennyo gwowagira ennyo wetwogera yatwaliddwa dda mu kooti.
That's rubbish.
Ye
anti
General Mbadi ne Attorney General Gawaya Tegula agamba political statements.
Anti nkubuulire Gawaya Tegule, let me tell you, me I know. Ku lunaku lw'omukaaga omusajja yayita abantu mu meeting ne batajja. Why? Politics is a perception. Abantu bonna badduse dda. Omanya amaanyi Muhoozi ge yampa. Omanya amaanyi Muhoozi ge yampa.
Galiwo Mwami Tamale. Amaanyi yakuwa
abantu bakeera wange. Anti politics is a perception. Ate bonna beyateeka
okuyita okuba ku committee.
Ate bonna nze amaanyi ge nnina gyo natuuzizza aba gundi 5 abayimbi abakubye ennyumba za standby generator nze batwalireyo.
Abagalo zitwale wa General.
Yes. Olwaleero njogedde n'abeeru ku ngeri. Mwanange mbadde sikimanyi. Ono omusajja Ambulozi Kibuuka. Sigamba nti be Baganda beeru ku ngeri. Mu Katuliki Ambulozi Kibuuka lya mujulizi.
Oh.
Yes. Era omusajja azze n'abantu nga 10. Ne banga nti omusajja ono omulaba ne bandaga n'ebifaananyi bye. Ono yesi mubbi. Omusajja ayagala bwagazi kintu era ebadde akiteekamu ssente n'ewakaawe naki kyonna.
So Gawaya
abavudde mu East Nile abavaawa ewange kati sebo nange nina gazebo kati ewange ngenda gula nyumba mpya ne muto wange tanampa yadde 10 ne baganziina nabagamba nti muganda gwa batayina kyakuwa teyogeranga
gwatayagala
gagati
wali oyagala singa wafuna.
But let me tell you,
what is Gawaya going to
achieve? Let me tell you, when lawyers go to court, nze n'abaana ba lawyer 2. My children who are biological, but I don't go to court. Nze ngendera mu 2 byete biyita abajulizi sente entono.
Ogendera
mu 2 erifu 3. Basi nayingira tuleera. Nze newunya n'abannumba olumbani. Empisa ogitakule kundi. Nti basi simanyi kwa kagundi. Let me tell you, why do lawyers go to court? Lawyers go to court to get publicity. This case can get you publicity. 2, lawyers go to court for precedent. What did the court rule? Because the judgments depend on past rulings. The third point, they want to get a precedent, a ruling of court. In democratic societies like Uganda, is courts and parliament that make laws. Judges through there. Abalamuzi ba Uganda bo basala byambwa. Era ffe abapya tugenda kuteekawo limbo y'abasuma ne limbo y'abalamuzi abasala ejembwa. Yes, tugenda kukola limbo bbiri ng'omulamuzi yasala ogw'embwa. Ebidde bisula bivuga. Ebidde limbo tewali kwebaka. Abasumye sente za gavumenti no balina limbo y'abasuma. Empingo 10 oba ba milioni 10 empingo kabuli yeberako empingo 10 abaana ne bajja ne balambula batyo obusuma n'obujozi. Tugenda kukola limbo y'abasuma ne limbo y'abalamuzi abasala ejembwa. This is how we are going to shape society. Abantu batye kubanga nakugana the Chinese have protected their money. How? They have 3 methods. They maroon you on an island. Nobody has ever come from that island. 2, life imprisonment. 3, shooting, public execution. That's why African leaders are flocking to China. 3 issues. Katugenda kukola limbo y'abasuma
ng'ebidde bivuga
babe tebebaka du wali ameka tuwabba milioni 10 ebidde kabuliyo eyina empingu 10 ne wiigiyo wasala ogwembwa omulamuzi ne wiigiyo n'empinguzo abaana balambulengako
ate embwa
abaana balambule abaana baffe batya okubba bazzukulu baffe
kanzije tabanabana basaako
was brought purposely from Italy, from Portugal, kusiriwaza abantu. Omuntu yenna alya muwogo kumusiriwaza. Nkubuulira muwogo gw'olya yeweeyiganga gwe bandise mu kkubo. Anaanuuka mu kusiriwaza abaana n'enkukwatira ewange ng'owa abaana bange muwogo aliko nkuba n'enkuta mu Vietnam twaresti ng'owa abantu muwogo.
Media consultant don't kuna Tamale Mirundi so lamusa ku bantu.
Yes.
Outrendi nzenya kanto kwatambula.
Yes nga bintu ebyo bwe mu bikwata. Oli badde ba mugaso nnyo njagala okuba akatambi kano. Ke kayambe gwange biri mu gwanga mugenda kubitegeera. Nze nagano gamba akaliko mugo. Nagano kanti ekyatta omwami nakimanya. Miso tejja kusirika ng'eggwanga liggwawo. Olwali mbadde wange nenda babasajja balina gye balazeewo omuntu okumubuuza olwomukaga nalaba omusajja gwe bayoola mu meeting miso katubabu
Ogenti oyina okukkiriza nti amaloboozi gago.
Yes, to take me to court.
Oh, oyina osooka okukkiriza nti yeggwa ayogera wano.
Ayogera.
Kale katukazanyi.
Tetuli byambaasi bya.
You're going to be a spoiler. Yeah? That is what he says. No, but really, if that is his attitude, what exactly would you expect me to do? No, the simplest thing is this. Do not, pull out all your stunts at the beginning. I would suggest that you first of all give it time, let it mature, let everybody realize that you have some ethics to protect, you have some integrity to protect, you have that powerful image that you need to portray and project it to the minds of the people, because that is the most important thing. So I've heard a lot about you. I've had a lot of resistance, and I've personally experienced so much. But the most important thing is how you're going to react towards all that encirclement of troubles. Because you cannot be the only person who understands everything best. You should always have it in mind that there are some people who are very well strengthened to tackle all the situations. The biggest problems, like for us Africa, we don't want to consult. We always, depend on our ego. If we feel very important before everyone, therefore we enforce and posture ourselves in a manner that we can do it all without help or assistance from other people. And is what is causing a lot of trouble in this era. It is why the government is staggering in a zigzag form, simply because some people don't want to actualize the reality of situations. And this is what I've been telling you for all the times. You should always find the means of thinking better. You should always think about managing things better. And above all, you should learn to respect each and every person to make sure that you don't interfere, you don't interject, and you don't intrude yourself in other people's affairs. That is one of the most important things that we need to think about at all times. So the moment we have that, I'm telling you, my brother not going to find, this hig-hag here and there. You're not going to find yourself, encircled in troubles, the way things are appearing. So we are telling me our own story, and I couldn't grasp it all. What exactly was it?
Now, my brother, I understand the dynamics of the situation that we really have today. Sometimes it is shameful to explain everything in the greatest detail. So sometimes we find the solace in reserving so much. And for that reason, there are things I wouldn't like to share with everyone. But now, if Muzei is behaving in a way that I am an outcast, but simply doesn't want me to act like a typical outcast. If Muzei is doing several other things, but doesn't want me to utilize my own opportunities, because there is what we call self-indulgence. There is what we call self-actualization. There is what we call self-optimization. If Muzei doesn't want me to go into that line, what exactly does he want me to do? That is the question I'm asking myself always.
No, what I think is it is not a trouble. And it's not troubling you in any way. He's only trying to create a scenario where you simply need to understand the situation, and it's simply that. He's not looking at, terminating anything that you're building up. He's not looking at disorganizing you in any manner. He's not looking at, disorganizing you in any way. Everything seems to be okay. And actually, what I'm looking at is he's trying to reorganize you. You need to think about your mental faculties and make sure they work very well. Otherwise, you're going to land in great shit. You have no idea the risks involved in a situation like this, where there is need for alteration, where there is need to change, where there is need to try and reorganize situations. It is what I'm talking about. These are the things we need to organize ourselves about. These are the things you need to think about and make proper decisions that do not interfere, that do not interject with anyone. So the moment we have that at hand, there is a higher chance that things can become okay. So this is what I'm trying to talk about. This is what I really want you to organize yourself about. I don't know if you really understand me.
Well, it is okay. I really understand the situation that you want to explain and the picture I want to paint in my mind. Of course, my mental faculty is very okay. The only challenge I'm getting is how people tend to think that I'm a stubborn fellow. How people think that I don't calculate the moves I'm trying to make. I give, for example, a scenario. remember how I was encircled. I ended up in a position where actually nobody was willing to do anything very reasonable. Huh? It is a funny situation that some people never imagined that. I also count, my ideologies have been advising on so many actions that have been taking place in this country. But now if I'm ignored, I'm encircled, I almost get arrested. Until somebody equally powerful says, no, that is my son. Why would you do such a thing? He has our grandchildren. Why should you do such a thing? So beyond that, I get very annoying warnings and cautions and even precautions that I should never misbehave. I should never attack anybody who's working on the rise of a new project of succession that is ongoing. I told him, by the way, that is public information. I don't need to interject. But at the same time, let us look at the legal foundation of our constitution in the country. Why should somebody who is actually a serving officer of the Uganda People's Defense Force talk politics in the name of a birthday? Why should such a thing ever happen and nobody cares? Don't we have serious Ugandans who can say, let us petition this? Really, these are the things we're looking at. These are the things we need to work upon. Why should we simply be onlookers? Why should we be passengers on the bus when we personally can also steer the bus forward? So these are the things we're looking at. These are the challenges I'm going to talk about. These are the things we need to organize ourselves about and make sure we have a proper way forward. It is not that I'm very mischievous. No, I'm not. It is only that we need to have an organized cycle, an organized system robust enough to carry on after us, not to provoke Ugandans into a conflict, into civil disobedience. And I see all the ingredients are what we are putting up. You think when a few wannabes come around and start praising you means that Uganda is convinced? Having to spend millions of dollars just to celebrate something fictitious, just because you're launching a political project. The host heads of state spend millions of dollars because they're coming to attend a certain party and things of the sort. No, I'm telling them that is not important at all. The most important thing is how are we going to manage the aftermath of events? When Moses retired from the system, how are we going to overcome this? How are we going to stabilize the country? Because things are not what they appear to be. Everything still lies in silence, and so people are not sure. They really don't know exactly what is happening. And nobody knows how they're going to react thereafter. So it seems like everything is normal, but nothing is normal at all. I want to assure you, really, nothing is normal at all. The storms are coming from all directions. And whoever is willing to understand this will get it correct. Whoever is not willing to understand, let us wait for the backfire effect. The afterburn backfire effect. That is all we are looking at. So that is me. So normally, I tend to listen to what Tamale normally states. Do you ever sit down and reflect yourself on all of these activities that have been happening for all this time? You know, Tamale is a rare species. I never want to fight him. Because I know he knows a lot. But looking at the problems we have really incurred, I've been humiliated. And is getting this kind of sponsorship from the big man himself, from my brother-in-law, for all those people who say the president should be succeeded by his son. Succeeded with his son. Such things really happen. So when you talk about Tamale, I know Tamale has done a lot, and he has always been thinking that I'm fighting him to the extent of even being warned by the big man that I don't want you to engage in a battle with the Tamale Mirundi. I don't want you to be engaging in battles with so and so. But this man has really created the propaganda. He has really disseminated the information that has alienated me from so many people, from so many friends, from so many partners. People are disassociating with me. Every move that I make, he's always there. Every move that I make, he's always there. When I try to talk to Uncle Sam, he brushes me off. Tells me to hell with this and that. Look at what is happening. There is an important meeting held by the colleagues, the business partners, a full conglomerate. But I was dismissed, even my representative was dismissed. Because Uncle Sam and Tim, plus so many others like Frank are there. And they don't want me to take part in the meeting. Okay. So what do you really have to say about all that? To me, I think it sounds like...
Okay,